Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Speech Group for this week. We are going to be looking at a new fractured fairy tale today and comparing that story to its traditional version. Get started. We are going to go through some of the same slides that we went through last week, but we will go a little bit quicker, and then we will look at the new story. So we're talking about comparing and contrasting. Do you remember what those words mean? Remember, compare means we talk about how things are the same. If we have ducks and geese, we talk about how they are both fowl and they have feathers and they live in or they swim in the water and that sort of thing. The word contrast means how are things different? What does one do that the other cannot do? How are their appearances different, and that sort of thing. So again, with our goose and our duck, geese tend to be bigger, ducks are smaller, geese fly south in the winter, ducks tend to stick around where they live. So again, when we start doing this activity, we are going to be using that Venn diagram. Remember, the Venn diagram has two circles that we set on top of them, and the part of the circle that connects, that's part of both circles, is where we put our compare words, our words that are alike and the same. The opposite sides of the circle, the ones that are kind of independent of one another, that's where we put our contrasting words. Remember, if you are writing up something that shares, that wants you to compare and contrast something, you're going to use these clue words. Also, if you're reading something and somebody wants to know what the differences are or what's the same about two things, you can look for these words. So when we compare, we look for words like and same and to and most important or have in common. When we are contrasting, we look for words like but and while and on the other hand or however or even though. Okay? So when we look at these two pictures, today we're going to be comparing some actions to comparing and contrasting some actions. So we see on one side, we see maybe a mom and her little boy at the local swimming pool having a good time. And on the other side, we see a young man in the pool racing. I think the stroke is called the butterfly. So we're going to start by comparing them and looking at what's the same. So when we do that, we see that both of these people or both of these pictures have people who are swimming. They're both in a pool, nobody's in the ocean. And finally, somebody in these pictures is wearing goggles. In this one picture, it's the little boy. In the other picture, it's the young man. Okay, there are a few other things that are similar, but that's just how I kind of got started. But when we want to talk about the differences, in this picture, we have two people in the pool. And in this one, we've only got one person. There are more people in the background, but just one person in the pool. Also on this side, these two people are playing. They're having a good time. They're relaxed. This young man is racing. He's very focused. He's in a hurry, that sort of thing. And finally, the difference is in this one, they're using a toy. She's helping. Okay, so now it's time to compare our two stories. The stories that we're going to be comparing today are the Gingerbread Man and the Stinky Cheese Man. If you don't know the Gingerbread Man story, it's about a little old lady and a little old man who are very, very lonely. And one day, the little old lady decides to make a gingerbread man, like the kind of thing you make at Christmas. She puts them in the oven. They sit down. Before long, they can smell something delicious. And they go to open up the oven, and instead of just plain old cookie, the gingerbread man has come to life. So he jumps up and he looks at these two people and he thinks, oh no, they're going to eat me. I'm a cookie. So he says, run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. And he takes off out the door. The little old lady and the little old man chase him because he's their gingerbread man. Along the way, the gingerbread man runs into a cow. He runs into some children. He runs into a variety of animals and people. And each time he runs into them, he says, run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. So he takes off down the road and everybody's chasing him. Like, comes to a river and he thinks, oh my, I'm going to get caught by all these people that I'm running from. And sure enough, there is a fox hanging out by the river. And you know, foxes are sly and sneaky. So the fox says, oh, hey, gingerbread guy, you want me to help you out? Just jump on my back and I will swim you to safety onto the other side of the river. And the gingerbread man says, no, thanks. You got to be crazy. You're going to try to eat me. And he says, no, no, no. If you jump on by my tail, I won't be able to reach you. It'll be fine. Just hop on and we're going to go across the river. The gingerbread man thinks about it for a while, but he can hear all of those people coming. So he jumps on their back and they start out across the river, him and them. They get a little ways in, and the gingerbread man's like, oh no, I'm getting a little bit wet down here by the tail. And he moves further up towards the fox's neck. And he's safe, and the fox keeps paddling. It gets dark deeper and deeper. And the fox says, oh man, gingerbread man, the water's getting closer, getting closer. Why don't you jump up on my head and then eventually on my snout? Because I'm keeping my head above the water. They get about halfway across the river. The gingerbread man is sitting on the fox's snout, and the fox tips his head back up, slings the gingerbread man in the air, and eats the gingerbread man. And that's the end of our story. Not a super happy one, not a super exciting one. That's the story of the gingerbread man. Now I'm going to play a video of reading The Stinky Cheese Man. I want you to think about, maybe go ahead and draw a Venn diagram on a piece of paper, how the gingerbread man and the stinky cheese man compare and how they contrast, how they are the same.
The book that we're using today is called The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales by John Cienska and Lane Smith. Now, we're only going to do one story from this book, but there are several stories in this book that you could pick from. But this one's my favorite. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little old woman and a little old man who lived together in a little old house. They were lonely, so the little old lady decided to make a man out of stinky cheese. She gave him a piece of bacon for a mouth, 2 olives for eyes, and put him in the oven to cook. There's our stinky cheese man. When she opened the oven to see if he was done, the smell knocked her back. Phew, what is that terrible smell? She cried. The stinky cheese man hopped out of the oven and ran out the door calling, run, 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 as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the stinky cheese man. The little old lady and the little old man sniffed the air. I'm not really very hungry, said the little old man. I'm not really all that lonely, said the little old lady. So they didn't chase the stinky cheese man. The stinky cheese man ran and ran until he met a cow eating grass in the field. Wow, what is that awful smell, said the cow. Oh, there's our stinky cheese man running. There's our cow. The stinky cheese man said, I've run away from a little old lady and a little old man, and I can run away from you too, I can. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the stinky cheese man. The cow gave another sniff and said, I'll bet you could give someone 2 or 3 stomach aches. I think I'll just eat weeds. So the cow didn't chase the stinky cheese man either. The stinky cheese man ran and ran until he met some kids playing outside school. Gross! What's that nasty smell? I've run away from a little old lady and a little old man and a cow, and I can run away from you too. I can. Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the stinky cheese man. The little boy looked up and sniffed the air and said, "If we catch him, our teacher will probably make us eat him. Let's get out of here." So the kids didn't chase the Stinky Cheese Man either. By then, the Stinky Cheese Man came to a river with no bridge. "How will I ever cross this river? It's too big a jump, and if I try to swim, I'll probably fall apart," said you-know-who. Just then, the sly fox, who shows up in a lot of stories like this, poked his head out of the bushes. "Why, just hop on my back, and I'll carry you across, Stinky Cheese Man. How do I know you won't eat me? Trust me," said the fox. So the Stinky Cheese Man hopped on the fox's head, or back. The fox swam to the middle of the river and said, "Oh man, what's that funky smell?" The fox coughed, gagged, sneezed, and the Stinky Cheese Man flew off his back and into the river, where he fell apart. The end.
So I really hope you enjoyed the Stinky Cheese Man. It is one of my favorites. So the first thing we're going to do art of. So while you listen, do you think, how did Gingerbread Man and the Stinky Cheese Man compare to one another? What I found. In both of the stories, there was a lonely old both men ran away from the old people, and along the way, they met a lot of animals and other people. They kept running. They ended up at a river where a fox tricked them into riding across the river, and neither Gingerbread Man nor the Stinky Cheese Man make it to the other side of the river. Okay, so what do we find that was different? When we look at the gingerbread man, we find that he's made out of cheese, a cookie. We see everybody chasing him. Everybody wants that gingerbread man, whether they want him to stop their loneliness and be like their kid, or they want to eat him. I don't know. And then finally, the gingerbread gets eaten by the fox when he's tricked. On the other hand, we have the Stinky Cheese Man, who instead of being made out of gingerbread cheese, which makes him smell really bad, you have to wonder what kind of cheese that old lady had sitting around her house. The Stinky Cheese Man, nobody's chasing him. They all think he's gross. They go the opposite direction. Like the gingerbread man, who had everyone chasing him. And finally, instead of being eaten by the fox, the Stinky Cheese Man falls into the river, where he kind of just breaks apart into pieces. Okay, like those two stories. That is the end, as they say in fairy tale land. I hope you enjoyed our stories today. I hope comparing and contrasting is making a bit more sense to you. And I hope this is just kind of a fun way to spend some time doing work. Feel free to either email me or drop a note in your Google Classroom and let me know what you think and how you did. And I will be making a quiz to go with this for you to complete. And we will see you next time. Have a great weekend.